Gents and lady folk, to Cartoon Conversations, where your hosts Elliot Catch and Jordan Stein once again sit back and relax and let you hear the soothing sounds of our voice serenade over the English language delicately, like a poem written and woven in silk and soft golden strings. And this is carrying on for far longer than it should. We're going to talk about the newest episode of Justice League Unlimited, which is going to be Task Force X. It's great. It's good. I love it. Take it away, Jordan. It's your part of this darn thing now.
So, Task Force X is actually, it's basically just Suicide Squad. And if you're a DC fan, you know that the Suicide Squad is basically C-level supervillains.
It's awesome.
Who the government recruits to do missions that they can't be associated with.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, what's going on with that? Why would the government recruit villains, Jordan? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, perhaps they need to kill a foreign dignitary, but they can't do it themselves.
Whoa.
Isn't a supervillain good for that?
That sounds like a bad guy thing to do.
And it's also a good explanation for why these C-level supervillains keep escaping jail.
It still sounds like a real bad guy thing to do. I don't know. I don't agree with that, Jordan. Those policies seem evil.
Well, there's a lot of evil in the Justice League universe, so...
Yeah. It's because Amanda Waller is she's a clever, crafty fox.
Yes, and it is generally led by Amanda Waller, who puts explosives in their blood.
Oh my god, nanomachines again.
Yeah. Nanotechnology should just be banned from the DC universe. It seems like it creates a lot more evil than it does good.
It seems like it slips into a lot of other universes, too.
Yeah.
Making for weird conversation.
Nanotechnology's a little bit scary.
Yeah. It can apparently strap bombs to each individual blood cell, which, shouldn't technically be possible. But,
Yes, because you run through your blood in, 30 days, so that doesn't really work scientifically, but... They're also, barely the same species as us, so...
What?
That's fine.
Wait, what? What do you mean they're the same species as us?
Well, the things Batman and Green Arrow and all the other non-superpowered heroes, aren't really things that humans can do.
I don't know. I thought that, if you just believed hard enough, you definitely can become one of those things that cartwheels and does... crazy backflips and punches 50 armed soldiers in the face in one go. I swear I saw it in a movie once. It was great. Ben Affleck and Danny DeVito. Don't ask me which one, I'm going to tell you.
Okay. So.
What's our big question, Jordan?
All right, our big question is, would you want to work for the Justice League?
I feel like, working for superheroes would be pretty damn awesome.
Well, we're going to discuss that as we go further to see if it actually is such a great job.
They got, kick-ass dental plan, I'm guessing,
Yeah, I got to imagine that they have top-of-the-line health insurance and pay.
I can only imagine, getting a molar from Green Lantern, just kind of creating an imaginary construct drill that's slowly entering your mouth. It's huge though. It's comically disturbingly big.
Yeah, I feel like I would not want Green Lantern as my dentist.
Second. This will only hurt a lot.
So Jon Stewart's dental side business aside, I wonder if it's covered under most plans. Does he accept insurance, you think?
I feel like he doesn't even do anything with he probably doesn't take payment. He would just think it's really funny. Or no, that would be like Kyle Rayner.
Kyle Rayner would do it and think it was funny. Jon Stewart would do it because he needs some cash to buy a wedding ring.
Oh my god.
So
he has to decide whether or not he needs to buy something clever and gaudy for what's her face? Vixen. Right.
Who I kind of miss. She hasn't appeared, I think, again.
I don't know if she... I can't remember if she appears again.
She appears at least one more time, I know.
Yeah. Who knows?
But, okay. So,
we'll never know.
So I'm going to do the breakdown now.
Yes, go for it, Jordan.
All right.
Seed.
So we open on a prison.
Yes, we do.
A man in an orange jumpsuit is being walked to an electric chair.
Who we find out later
is Deadshot, who's a C-list villain. He's very commonly on the Suicide Squad. I'm going to refer to Task Force X as a Suicide Squad because it's much pleasanter to say.
Pleasanter.
Yes. So, much more pleasant?
Much more pleasanter. I guess, it's the same old. Still, like...
So, he walks to the chair. Sorry, yeah?
Jordan, what was your first impression of this Deadshot?
He reminded me of Rocky Sullivan from Angels with Dirty Faces.
Angels with Dirty Faces?
Oh, it's such a good movie. It's basically this movie about this guy who goes to reform school. He and his friend commit this crime, just like a little petty thing.
Yeah.
And his friend escapes, but he doesn't.
Oh.
And so he gets sent to reform school, and the other guy continues in public school. And the guy who went to reform school becomes a horrible mobster.
Oh.
But he's still like not a horrible person. He's just a bad guy. And the other guy who goes to public school becomes a priest and runs like a youth center helping at-risk kids.
I think I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, it's a very famous like reform school turned me bad classic liberalism movie. It's really good. So, and Rocky Sullivan at the end does a walk to the electric chair and he like spits in the guards.
Right, and he's like, and what is it? His friend is like, do it for the kids.
Yeah, he did do it for the kids, so he pretends like he's scared of death.
Yeah.
To scare the kids onto the right path, and it's just... It's the sweetest screams of terror you will ever hear in your life.
Do it for them kids.
Yes. It's a really good movie. So, he's as cocky as Rocky O'Sullivan. But this man won't listen to his priest. He's gonna die spitting in his executioner's face.
Oh, definitely.
However, when they get to the room with the electric chair, it's taken by a man with a pardon note. And the pardoned man...
Pardon man?
The pardoned man, who is...
The pardoned man?
We're going to soon find out is Deadshot. Tries to show up his savior, but he is quickly and effectively shot down and humbled.
I just, like, could not understand why Deadshot was, like, so puppy dog. He immediately is like, short-winded by this guy. He's, like, oh, I'm Deadshot and I murder people all the time, but I'm as soft-spoken as, like, Martha Stewart, getting out of jail for I don't know, like...
I thought it made sense, because in the end, he's not a brave man. He's a bully.
I mean, it's open for interpretation. He has a lot of different, he has a lot of different, what do you call it, backstories and whatnot. I think the most common one is that he actually used to be a soldier and suffers from a lot of PTSD.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and he ends up becoming, like, just this... He tried to go home to his family, and, like, he can't do it anymore, and it's just fucked up. And in this one, he's just, like...
He's a coward and a bully. He's consistently cowardly.
When what's his name? General Hardass gets up out of the chair and says, like,
Colonel
if you don't want to come with me, you can take a seat. He looks like a puppy dog. He looks at him and he's like,
well,
they sit in the main chair.
This isn't the classic Deadshot. This is Deadshot the bully.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Most definitely not. I'm just saying, like, it definitely caught me by surprise.
Yeah. I do like this Deadshot, though.
Yeah.
I think he's a good, character.
He does what he needs to.
So.
He is what he does.
So, I think what we should talk about, though, is...
Yes?
There's capital punishment in the DC universe.
Oh, yeah, right. They don't say it, but it is really obvious that he was being sentenced to his death. That was the electric chair, good sir.
Yeah, no, he is most definitely going to die.
He was being sent there, yeah.
Yeah. So...
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Like, I am a big anti-death penalty guy in the real world. In the DC universe,
Not so
let him
much.
fry.
Yeah, right?
You know, even if it's like a ridiculously painful way to die, like, none of this like, oh, it's cruel and unusual, let him die.
Yeah, oh my god.
Let him.
I wonder how you would go about, looking at things like Batman comics with the Joker and all that.
Okay, I understand Batman not killing. That I'm 100% for. Even in the DC universe,
Yeah.
the Batman doesn't kill thing, very good idea. From a style standpoint. The government doesn't have capital punishment after due process thing, not in favor. Expedited courts for supervillains. Two-week trial.
Jordan, you're losing me. There's too many big words.
Okay, fine. I will stop talking about awesome death penalty politics stuff.
Oh my god.
Death penalty politics are really interesting. So,
What do you say, man?
So I think that if they just hadn't sent him to reform school, Deadshot would have been okay.
Deadshot would have been fine.
Yeah.
He could have been a lover, not a fighter.
I shall call him Deadshot O'Sullivan.
Deadshot O'Sullivan? What?
Because in Angels with Dirty Faces, it was Rocky Sullivan.
But
But he's now Deadshot Sullivan. Deadshot O'Sullivan.
Deadshot O'Sullivan.
Yes. So,
What a man.
we now cut to a car,
Oh.
and
Do
we
it.
find out that the giant man is Colonel Flagg, who, actually, fun fact, in World War II, there was a very popular comic series that the company that would become DC came out with called Colonel Flagg and the Fighting 52nd, in which he was a superhero without superpowers, and he and his battalion fought Nazis, and it was pretty awesome, actually. And at the end
Oh my god, he must have done like how, what is it, Captain America used to be, where they literally just had him punching Hitler like all the time.
Yeah, it was like a Captain America sort of figure, except he didn't have superpowers. And they killed him off at the end of World War II, and they've never actually brought him back. And they've never actually brought him back. This is the closest he's gotten to being brought back, in which he had a son who was kind of a carbon copy of him, because this Colonel Flagg is his son.
Right, they do make mention of that.
Yeah, at the end of the episode, Amanda Waller will say your father was a good man. So I guess he didn't die.
Oh, I thought, did she say that? I thought she says your father would have been proud of you.
Yeah, that might have been what it was. It was something like that.
To that extent.
It was just kind of a really obscure, cool superhero reference, and it's kind of cool to see a superhero on both sides of the fight here.
Right.
So, because, the heroes versus villains thing, you kind of know what to expect. But this is heroes versus heroes and villains. Kind of cool.
Heroes versus heroes.
So.
It makes you wonder, like why did he join this side where, like, how does he think what he's doing is right? He's all for patriotism in his country.
Well, I think we kind of covered it in our last episode that to a degree he is right. That there's a lot of sketchy stuff about Cadmus, but they're not wrong. And at the end of our last episode, Batman accepts their basic premise.
Right, that the Justice League might be a bit too powerful.
Yeah. And he basically challenges Superman and the League to do something about it, to address their concerns.
Word.
So
it's kind of scary. Like, if you had crazy shit going off in the sky, what would you be doing right now?
Me? I'd
be like
protesting the Justice League.
Huh?
That's super sketchy.
Yeah.
They have a giant laser cannon pointed at Earth.
Well, I wouldn't say giant. It's fairly large, definitely.
Small nuclear weapon.
You don't have to be all.
Which Martian Manhunter should have known better. Like, seriously, I imagine after that, like, Batman sat him down and go, there are words you don't use when talking to humans. One of them is small nuclear weapon.
Yeah, please don't ever make mention of a nuclear weapon again.
It's kind of like saying fun colonoscopy. In that it is not reassuring in any way.
Excuse me. Fun colonoscopy.
Yeah. Small and nuclear weapon do not go together. So I'm gonna chalk that down to a cultural gap the Martian Manhunter has. But besides that, okay. So we're back in the car with Colonel Flagg and Deadshot O'Sullivan. He says that Colonel Flagg asked him how his last meal was.
Oh wait.
He had lobster and asparagus because he's a douchebag.
What? I mean, like, what would you have when you're on your last leg?
I'm not.
Get something fancy.
Look, I'm not yelling at him for having lobster and asparagus. I'm yelling at him for being a douche about, the asparagus was a little overcooked. Shut up. You're just saying that because you need to find something wrong so you can look like a suave asshole.
Right. They really laid it on thick with this one.
Yeah.
He's very, very... I just can't be bothered with anything.
If it isn't 5-star, it just isn't worth eating.
Oh my god, right? If it's not golden crusted, why even bother?
Yes. So, and then Colonel Flagg once again just shuts him down by pointing out that his last meal had explosives in it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Then he gives him the mission parameters. They're breaking into Justice League headquarters.
Bum bum bum!
Hit credits.
Dun, 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 dun. Which is kind of nuts if you think about it.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're breaking into the Justice League? That just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool.
How are they gonna break into the Justice League, Jordan? That shit's more heavily armed than goddamn Fort Knox in space. Which it is Fort Knox in space.
It makes Fort Knox look like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. So, we open on an empty warehouse. Colonel Flagg introduces us to the team. The man we saved, we now find out is Deadshot. There's also Captain Boomerang, Clock King, and Plastique. Captain Boomerang is a Boomerang-themed supervillain. He's probably the biggest supervillain of all of them. Clock King is a Green Arrow supervillain. He does
I
clock
actually
theme.
really liked Clock King. I thought he was pretty cool.
I thought this was a good interpretation of Clock King. I like him better than the Batman Brave and the Bold Clock King.
Oh, I don't even remember Clock King from Batman Brave and the
He
Bold.
had a
I remember
giant
this guy
clock
from
helmet.
Huh?
He had a giant clock helmet and a scepter. And a crown.
Yeah, it sounds just great. Sounds fantastic.
He was pretty good in Brave and the Bold. He was funny.
Well, he was originally this version was originally from the Gotham Knight one. What do you call it? The original, that Batman cartoon?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, Batman the Animated Series. That one was nuts.
Yeah. So, he's kind of the coordinator of the team. He's obsessed with time, so, he kind of keeps people on
time.
On time, yeah.
And makes a lot of time puns.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, he doesn't, because he's serious.
Yeah. So, continuing on. Then Plastique, plastic explosives.
Yeah, if you couldn't, guess that one.
So Colonel Flagg gives them the mission briefing. I also liked the touch that they meet in a LexCorp, a former LexCorp owned warehouse, which it works well because last time we found out that Luthor's running for president, we had some heavy foreshadowing, and I don't want to spoil anything, but obviously Lex Luthor is going to do something going forward. So you get some hints of what's going to happen from that, which I kind of like. It's good foreshadowing. And it's subtle because it works for just that episode. But knowing where we're going to be at the end of the season, I also see how that plays in. So it works well. Okay. Then, so basically, they're going to sneak into HQ disguised as staff, then blow up the nuclear reactor.
Yes.
They go for the Justice League at the weakest point, where only Captain Atom, who is living nuclear radiation,
Oh, yeah.
Green Lantern, Intergalactic Police Force,
He's
and
walking
Martian
around.
Manhunter, mind-reading Superman, is there. They plan some more and more. We have a whole montage of them planning. And
What
then
was
we
that,
cut
Jordan?
to a cornfield.
Some more and some more?
Yeah. They planned a lot. It was like hours and hours of planning. So, continuing on.
Good one, Jordan.
So, they cut to a cornfield where the JLU staff are about to be beamed up. The Suicide Squad ambushes them and steals their uniforms. We also find out it's Memorial Day. So, remember not to wear white. It's out of fashion now. So, they're teleported up, and they can't get through for a second, but Colonel Flag threatens the security guy with Martian Manhunter, and he caves, which brings us to our first point about whether the Justice League is a good employer. You shouldn't be that scared of your employer. Like, you're supposed to fear them a little because, they can fire you and it helps you work hard. It's like how you fear your parents, except much less so.
Jesus Christ.
You're supposed
I
to.
don't know. Excuse me.
It's not like a bad, coercive fear. It's just, fear is part of everyday life. So continuing on. But you shouldn't be that fearful of your boss. Like, that's kind of super villainy. The way they were scared of Martian Manhunter. I thought I was pretty disturbed by that.
I don't know. I really couldn't sense an incredible, monumentous kind of fear from that. It was just like, don't get on this guy's bad side. It wasn't really, like he's gonna actually just like mind fuck you to the nth degree.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they might just be a little scared of him. It might just be that they're scared of him because he's an alien, and aliens are scary, especially when they're green.
Aliens are scary, Jordan.
They are. Like, if a super advanced, genetically superior race of aliens came to Earth, we'd probably be fucked and all die.
We probably would, yeah.
And that's what the Martian Manhunter is.
Were like this? How on earth did they die?
The white Martians killed them all.
Really?
Yeah.
What was explained? Is that how that happened?
Yeah, that was the first episode of Justice League.
But I remember, he was...
But sunlight kills them.
Oh, so right, they didn't have... It's just like...
It's a little more horrific in Supergirl, actually. It's a lot more...
It's very
Nazi-ish.
Cloudy over there, so they couldn't do it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of Nazi-ish. It's really disturbing.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Holy crap, when they were taking over everything. Yeah, I remember that episode. Oh, my God.
You watch Supergirl now?
No, not Supergirl. I was referring to the first episode of the Justice League thing.
Yeah,
it's all coming back to me.
Yeah. In Supergirl, they addressed it, and they didn't do as good of a job as they should have. But it was really hard. Because it was really hard to watch because of the sadness that Martian Manhunter felt about his family being rounded up and systematically slaughtered.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
And everyone he knew or loved was dead, and only he was alive, and he had this horrible survivor's guilt. It was so well done.
Jeez. I gotta watch it now. I guess.
Really, everything about Martian Manhunter in Supergirl is fantastic. Like, I want him to just get his own show. Just like I want to follow around Martian Manhunter in his day, he eats a cereal. Yeah. It'd be a really boring show because he actually just runs a government agency, fills out forms.
Fills out forms.
Cries about the loss of his wife and son. And then mentors Supergirl and her sister.
Well, all right then, Jordan.
Okay, it'd be awesome because he's by far the best character in the show.
Who's he played by?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's he isn't in the green makeup like ever. He only, I think, has appeared in the green makeup twice. He normally is just like a guy.
Well, who's normally playing him then?
I don't know.
Well, regardless, okay.
This
back to
black
the
guy.
episode.
Who plays?
Are you looking it up now?
Yes, I am.
I swear to God.
Joshua Yell.
Yell.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, no. David Harewood. Okay. So, yeah. Continuing on.
Carrying on, my wayward son.
Okay. So, they get to the elevator, where they have actually a pretty awesome, like, arming up scene, like, Deadshot takes a bunch of candy bars, which, by the way, are the Flash's brand of candy bar. That was kind of a nice touch.
Were they?
Yeah, he endorses them in some episode or another.
Oh, I never noticed.
Yeah, I didn't actually either. I just saw that when I read the Wikipedia page. So, it's like light speed bars or something like that.
Of course they would be light speed bars.
So, he does it and he assembles a gun. Plastique
Right.
has some explosives hidden because she's really skinny. She just made herself look a little fatter.
Word.
Whatnot. So they all have their own weapons. It was nice. So, and it's all plastic, which is kind of cool. So, they had some serious money to get this done.
Word up.
So, and throughout all this time, Deadshot, they've kind of been building this romance between Deadshot and Plastique.
Oh, it's not.
And it's kind of like an Aaron Sorkin romance.
I wouldn't call it a romance at all. I would call it a fling.
It's an Aaron Sorkin romance.
Eyes, like if puppies were on fire. They look at each other and there's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a little bit of that. Although, Deadshot's way more into it than Plastique is.
How can you say?
He's panting after her, and she's like, yeah, you might be fun, but you're not that fun. So,
you might be fun, but you're not that fun. Jeez.
I mean, that's about what it is. So, where they have... So, they've been building this romance, and then they put them together to go down to the reactor. And all's going well. And the elevator doors are about to close for them to go to the reactor when Green Lantern uses his ring to catch the elevator.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, of all the things that you do, God.
And
you can't even just, like, walk up to it and hold it out. You have to go and grab it by your freaking ring.
Yeah, it seems kind of like an abuse of his power. But I think I would do that too if I had a Green Lantern ring, so can't judge him.
I feel like very much I can judge him. I'm in a very judging state. I'm Judgy McJudgerson.
He probably deserves a little bit of judgment. He should have caught the next elevator like a normal person, but it's not really an abuse of his power. So
should have caught a long train running.
So
Doobie Brothers.
He politely says hello, which is good because he doesn't have to like random staffers number 1 and 2.
Oh, he is abusing his powers. Oh my god, like nothing else.
So, I think he's perfectly polite to them in a way you're polite to somebody whose name you don't know, but who you work with and who is way below you on the food chain.
Nah.
I thought he was pretty reasonable there.
There's no way.
Why? What did he do that was so wrong?
Oh my god, he was just like, sup, and then turns away.
That's what you do on an elevator. Do you talk to random strangers on an elevator?
Well, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's fun.
Huh. Viewers, chime in. Do you talk to random people on an elevator? Because I am not an elevator talker.
What are we like a pay-per-view kind of thing? Cast your votes now! No. I mean, just like do whatever. But yes, I do. I talk to people on fucking elevators. It's funny.
That is not something I do.
Well, bully on you then.
So I think we can consider Jon Stewart more in the Jordan's not an elevator talker mold. He doesn't really seem like a talker in general, so.
Oh yeah.
So
he's a bulldog. He's a guard dog. Only gets close to the ones that he cares about, I guess.
Yep.
Yes.
So he politely says hello, but he has their back to them because they're just terrified. Deadshot pulls it together a little bit quicker, and he makes a snarky comment about Hawkgirl to Green Lantern. That just ruins his day.
Which was the best fucking
It was so ballsy. It was really awesome.
I didn't get that at first. I really didn't. Like, I totally didn't even realize when he said, like, how's Shira and all that. When I was a kid, I probably just, like, he wanted Hawkgirl's
autograph, yeah.
Autograph, right. But he's like, you just referenced, you're talking about the chick that he went ballistic for. He is in one of the most awkward situations of his life, and you're just gonna bring that shit up about it? Like, holy crap, man. You have no idea the balls that you have right here.
Yeah, that's some serious balls, man.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only reason why he got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if somebody did that.
Ballsy Smith over here.
Yeah. So that was kind of awesome. I mean, he does it and he kind of looks at, and Plastique is impressed.
Yeah.
This is where she's like, okay, this guy, he might be some.
Yeah.
This, like, builds the romance, and if they were traditional good guys, like, you'd be really rooting for them. To make those crazy kids
point,
to make it out.
Like, yeah, very much, I'm gonna fuck them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's definitely
are gonna bang.
what's going through her thoughts. Which, in his defense, kind of going through my thoughts, too. Her defense, I should say. So, with Colonel Flag and Captain Boomerang, they sneak into the storage area. However, they're stalled by a second door. Plastique plants the bombs, and they run. The power's going out and back up. The bombs blow up, the power goes out, and the backup power goes on. In the storage area, they see the target. It's the Annihilator from Hawk and Dove.
The Annihilator!
Yeah, that is some scary shit.
Yeah.
So, it's just such an awesome reference to a previous episode. That Hawk and Dove episode has really reverberated through a lot of the show.
I thought this thing was gone. I thought they were just like, all right, we're going to scrap it. But no, they brought it back, and like, holy fuck.
I think it's a valid question why a lot of this stuff in their armory, Green Lantern just didn't throw into the sun.
Didn't just throw into the sun.
Like, I think that's a valid question.
You know, like, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, what else could there still be? Do you think there's anything else that they just, didn't throw out? Or is there anything else that they took? Like, what about the, what is it called? That giant robot of death, Dormammu thing that shot fire in the first episode?
Probably in there, too. I mean,
they still got
pieces of it are probably in there, yeah.
Holy crap, what if they do? What if someone, like, tries to go and inhabit the body of it?
Yeah.
Bring back the Death Sword.
Ooh, we're totally renaming that thing the Deathosaur.
The Deathosaur. I think that's actually a thing, so.
Oh, is it?
We'd get shot.
That's a shame. Copyright laws have gotten stricter. So,
if you say the name of this thing, you will be shot in the leg numerous times.
So, on the main floor of the Watchtower, Martian Manhunter is coordinating an evacuator. Yay! The Justice League did something that makes him a good employer. He's clearly prioritizing getting people out there. So I imagine he also gives them dental. So, he sends Captain Atom to the leak.
Get him dental across the face.
See explosion. And Colonel Flag reads the spell to awaken the Annihilator. It doesn't seem to turn on. But then Flag punches Captain Boomerang, and it does. Which was kind of another awesome callback to Hawk and Dove.
Right.
So, I like how, it's powered by evil intent and violence, so
Right, yeah.
he had to punch his friend in the face.
I was like, oh, you poor thing,
So
He just got punched across the face.
yeah. So Captain Boomerang, it turns on. So Captain Boomerang wants to go then, but Colonel Flag leaves no man behind. What is it? Plastique and Deadshot are running to meet up with them. They get there just in time, thanks to a timely assist from Captain Atom, who prevents a bay door from closing on them.
Right, like, I saw him come in there, and I don't know, should he have noticed that they were going the opposite way, or, like, what do you think?
I mean, because there were technicians down there who are probably dead, by the way, because, well, they were knocked out and dragged to the side. And then a bomb was set off in the reactor. They're probably dead from radiation.
He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. You guys go ahead. Wait a minute. That's the bad place. Never mind. Don't worry. I'm saving people. I'm holding the door. Everything's good.
No. They were running away from the nuclear reactor, so he probably just thought they were the people stationed there.
Oh, I thought they were still running towards, all the big shit.
No, this was after they've blown up.
Oh,
they were running away.
I was very wrong in that situation then.
So,
I apologize, people of America.
So yeah, the evacuation is going slow. So we cut back to Martian Manhunter. So Martian Manhunter orders Green Lantern to start ferrying people to the auxiliary watchtowers. So now we know. I'm still not sure what the purpose of an auxiliary watchtower is, because it seems like it would be a lot cheaper and less people dying in spacey to just have them do it on land. Like, I understand why the main watchtower is in space. But the auxiliary ones seem like they're just office space. Space.
Everything's better in space.
Everything's better in space. The new Wayne Corp logo.
Oh my god!
Maybe
someone finally questions why he's funding all this money and throwing it into space, and he's just like, because it needs to be in space, alright?
Yeah.
Don't question me. Now get back to building lots and lots of satellites.
Okay.
And that's exactly how he goes through all of his board meetings, every single one of them.
They got super awkward after the watchtower. It's like, sir, I think we should get back to making money. We haven't made money in like 3 years. We've just been building things and shooting them into space. Which is like, it was like super fun for the first year, but I kind of want to have a pension.
No, Jordan, you're not allowed.
Which is another thing I imagine that you get when you work for the Justice League.
Right.
You work there 50 years, you get a gold watch, a pension at 2/3 of your salary.
Oh my god, a gold watch.
And health insurance.
This, like a goddamn business school or something?
Plus, I imagine life insurance. I gotta imagine when you're working in space, you get really good life insurance.
Oh my god, lots and lots of life insurance. That covers a lot. Attack by alien, kind of, like...
Probably pays double for attack by aliens.
Oh my god, triple even.
Maybe triple, yeah. So
attack by alien. Sucked out into the deep vacuum of the infinite darkness that is space.
Probably triple for that, too.
Check.
So Captain Atom then reaches his reactor. He calls Martian Manhunter to tell him that this is sabotage.
Sabotage. It's a sabotage.
So we cut...
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So we cut back to the Suicide Squad, which has run into Shining Knight, Vigilante, and Atomic Crusher.
Shining Knight, Vigilante are my headcanon couple. They are totally gay lovers. Oh my God.
I see that. I always thought of them as, more of a bromance.
Oh, yeah, no, they're a bromance, but everything in my head is always on fire, so they're a gay couple.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Respect. Yeah, so if you've got an art tastic, do the ship thing for them, too. So, an Atomic Crusher is the awkward third wheel, I guess, when you is hanging out with them. So, but Atomic Crusher is probably pretty useful to have when you're fighting the Annihilator.
The Annihilator!
Because he actually does about as well as Wonder Woman, which is saying something. That said, he still gets his butt kicked, but he Doing as well as Wonder Woman.
He did pretty good, I guess, for that like couple of moments. But,
Yeah. So
I mean, like this fight, I felt like was pretty intense in the sense that we see a lot of once again we're seeing a lot of the non-powered superheroes versus non-powered supervillains.
yeah.
And
It's a good fight. It's a really good fight.
It's like, in all honesty, one of the best fights in the series. They're just going back and forth. They're wailing on each other. They're doing backflips and shit, shooting guns, slicing swords. That fucking, what's his name again? Who's, the soldier guy who's like, his shoulders can eat people.
Colonel Flag.
Yeah, that guy. Oh my God, oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on, let me go look it back up, like, the fight. He was just doing some ridiculous stuff. He was pummeling Vigilante like it was, oh my God, like it was the best thing ever.
Yeah. And I think, I got the impression that in a fair fight without the Annihilator, even with the 4-on-3 advantage, the Suicide Squad would still lose this fight. But...
Annihilator!
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the Annihilator, it kind of gets...
But the Annihilator puts them over the top easily.
Oh my God, the Annihilator puts a lot on the top.
They get...
Puts just a little bit over the top.
So, they get to the main deck, and they're just... Martian Manhunter just takes them apart. It's a fight scene, but it's not even close. He just decimates the Suicide Squad. But even he can't defeat the Annihilator, which rips him in half and throws him in two.
Wait, can we talk about the scene where, like, was it? I think it was Plastique that manages to like trick Vigilante, and like locks him in a room or gets out of the way or something.
Yeah. They throw all three of them into another room so they can continue the mission. What's it?
Oh my God, I can't even believe like this is a thing right now. Lancelot, the Lancelot guy.
Shining Knight.
Yeah, Shining Knight, and he just like starts beating the shit out of the door, and you see him just like start wailing on that shit.
Nice.
Did you not see like the...
No, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, the dents that get there. I was like, oh man, he can't do anything. And then it shows her perspective, and then it's just like, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah. So, she goes there, and Martian Manhunter's just taking them apart, but then Plastique drags in Atomic Crusher.
Plastique.
With a bomb.
Oh, Plastique.
Okay. And she uses him as a hostage, which calls back to the montage when they were planning, when she says that her plan would be to take a hostage if Superman comes in.
The montage.
Which is a nice callback. And Colonel Flag says that's a terrible idea. So, use him as a hostage.
It's a terrible idea.
Captain Boomerang readies the teleporter, and Colonel Flag calls for Plastique. And she makes to go, but Captain Atom appears and stops her dramatically.
Right.
Deadshot, though, then shoots the explosive, and they teleport away with Plastique presumably dying.
Oh my God, like, you bitch! You guys were gonna have the best sex ever!
Yeah.
How could you just ditch you like that, man?
Yeah, that was bad.
Not cool.
Not cool. So.
Best sex ever.
So, Deadshot then she shoots the explosive, they teleport away. Captain Atom protects her, so she does live. And Martian Manhunter tries to go after them. But Captain Boomerang left a surprise in a short circuit of the machine.
Oh my God. They thought of everything.
Yeah.
Just like, how intense. I mean, he even says they thought of everything.
Yeah.
Can you believe that they thought of everything? I certainly can't.
So then we fade to their warehouse headquarters. Colonel Flag is in military dress again, and Amanda Waller walks in with the head of the magic department of Cadmus. We also find out that his first name is Brick. And his father is Rick.
Rick.
So, I guess they're creative naming in
Rick
the family.
Flag.
So,
and she's
Amanda
walking
Waller
with
says
what's her face? That crazy,
Amanda Waller says his father would be proud, which is confirmation that he is the son of the famous soldier of the DC universe.
The famous soldier.
I'm just going to say this. Amanda Waller has a softness when talking to him that's really sweet. It adds some layers to her character that she seems to be a real mentor to this guy.
Right.
That, you know, she kind of...
She
looks after him and she cares about him.
And what I got from what was happening there was, like, from a young age, you could tell, you know, they had something together. That's what I felt.
In my mind, she was maybe like a sort of godmother of sorts to him.
You think?
In that, she clearly knew his father. And I imagine his father, we know, died in World War II. So I imagine she had some part of raising him. Not a large part, not like aunt, uncle. But maybe like godmother or something. So,
I feel like, you know, what is it? She knew his father, and his father used to bring him around. You know, he would scamper across the government floor or something.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Oh, look, he wants to be a soldier or something." He's like playing with a gun.
Maybe
just, like, fucking around with a pistol.
Maybe Rick Flag was the original general in Cadmus before General Hardcastle. That'd be kind of a cool headcanon.
Yeah.
So
it can. That's a cool headcanon that can just kind of like sit on the side of where I'm having a, what is it, vigilante and all of his escapades.
Yes.
Or should I say?
I kind of want to read a Shining Knight comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the Suicide Squad goes in the next room,
Pretty sure.
and Colonel Flag just beats Deadshot for killing Plastique because he believes she's dead.
What? Was that? Was that what that was about?
He punches her in the face for it. It's like, we don't leave anyone behind.
I thought...
For all that he is, he's still a good guy.
Well, I thought he said that... I thought he was beating the shit out of Deadshot because Deadshot was like, all, hooray, we won, let's go home. And he's like, no, you're not done yet, soldier.
No, he says, yeah, I mean, I think that's a part of it, that it's part of its establishing dominance, but I think it's because of Plastique. I think he was pissed.
I don't think so. I don't think he gives a shit about these guys.
I think he cares.
I don't
Amanda
really
Waller
think so.
doesn't give a shit about these guys.
I don't know. I really don't think so. I think he's very grizzled in the sense that he I don't know. I really can't see that was what that was about.
I think that was about Plastique because he made it a whole point. We don't leave someone behind. We don't leave someone behind. He jeopardized the mission to not leave Deadshot and Plastique behind.
Jeopardize the mission for the good of the mission. I don't know. I feel like these people are very, very disposable to him. We don't leave anyone behind.
I think they're
because he doesn't want to leave a
disposable.
trace, or we don't leave anyone behind because he wants to be a good soldier in that sense, you know?
He's a Marine, yeah, I think. If I had to put him in a branch, I think he's a Marine, yeah. So, you know, leave no men behind.
Yeah.
So, he still can't stand killing. He's a good guy.
He's cool dudes.
He also says that the villains have to serve 5 years. As he walks away, Deadshot asks what they have on him. And Colonel Flag says nothing. Some of us don't have to be blackmailed to serve our country.
Bomb, bomb.
And now we cut to our watchtower. The Justice League has found the mole. Martian Manhunter couldn't read him. And...
It's that one guy that we saw with the poofy hair.
Yes.
And the big nose.
And
I'd say he was Jewish if he wasn't so blonde.
Yeah. And Green Lantern discusses what to do next. Martian Manhunter is furious. He trusted all the staff, and now he knows there's a traitor. And
Yes.
he wants to mind wipe that guy.
He wants to mind fuck every single one of them, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But Green Lantern points out they can't trust anyone now.
Yeah, no, it's like who do we trust? We can't trust anyone. Bum bum bum.
And we end the episode zooming out onto a whole room of purple jumpsuited employees.
Oh my god, they might as well just be wearing red.
Yeah, a little bit. They are kind of red shirty. But
None of them die though, but you know,
No,
Holy
those two
shit.
guys died. Those two guys definitely died.
I don't think so.
I think they're very clearly dead.
When you said those two guys, which
The
guys?
two guys that Deadshot and Plastique knocked out in the reactor room. They're
Oh,
most
right,
dead.
that they beat the shit out of.
They, at the very least, they have radiation poisoning. At the very least.
At the very least.
So, that's actually, this is kind of cool. Apparently, they originally wrote this episode from the Justice League's perspective, but then they didn't like how it turned out, so they rewrote it from the Task Force X perspective.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I never knew that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It makes sense, because I think this is the only episode of the whole show that's not from a Justice League perspective.
Right. I mean, one of them is told in multiple perspectives through and the one with the Mazo coming back, the android.
The Return?
Yeah, and part of that was shown right behind Lex Luthor's shiny bald head.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But I would say Lex Luthor was in an alliance with the Justice League then.
Yeah, so technically, I guess you could say that, yeah. Still, yeah, no, it's a very well told little story. It was very short, very sweet. A lot of good shit went down, and we got a fantastic little splurge of a story. I mean, like, the action was phenomenal. I wouldn't put it very high, in all honesty, because it was a little too short in my opinion.
I wish they'd had longer.
Oh my god, I wish they did more. But like, we saw a very good side to the villains of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking when I started this that it was going to be number 2.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was that high. I'm going to have to figure out where I think about it. But before we do ratings, why don't we say, would you want to work for the Justice League?
Oh, fucking definitely. I mean, like, I don't know if they would permit me to work for them, but I mean, like, if I could, what would I do? What would I be? What could I do for the Justice League? Oh my god, I'd be a janitor just to work in the Justice League, just to watch them go by. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be that guy. I would be the ass fish.
In the end, I think, yeah, I would work there. I think there are some red flags in the fear and in the kind of total lack of caring and thought they put into their employees. But in the end, they are good people. I think they would treat me well as an employee.
They would treat you well.
Yeah. So yeah, I would work for the Justice League.
You gotta have all your bases covered, man. You can't just go around all willy-nilly, you know?
Maybe they need a finance guy to finance their 9th watchtower. I could do that.
A finance guy to finance the finances?
Yep.
I like it. Cut, print. It's good.
Yeah. So that'd probably be what I'd do.
I a janitor, 100%. A shoe shiner. I'd be just like goddamn.
I feel like your job could probably
you shoved your foot up, one of those bad guys' asses. I am totally down for licking that off of you.
Yeah.
I'm licking Batman's shoe, man. That's Batman. At this point in time, I am connected directly to Batman.
Okay.
I will do anything for him.
So
I will become his personal whatever.
Okay, so where do you put this episode?
Besides whatever the fuck that was about. What would I put this? Fairly high. A little bit above average. More after the middle. I don't know. I can't really say for sure, Jordan.
All right, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I don't really know where it is, so I'm going to say some words, and then while we're talking, I'm going to figure it out.
I'm going to say some words.
So, there's a lot I really liked about this episode. I really liked the storytelling that this was from the villain's perspective. But there were just a couple too many characters to really get a feel for all the characters. I think this could have really have done with being a two-parter.
Right.
With a two-parter,
I feel like it would have been a bit. It would have been a bit forced if it was a two-parter. I don't think they would have had enough to really show, the quickness at which they worked. The in, out, done. That's all they needed to do.
I think they could have, to make it a two-parter, they could have expanded the team a little bit, just maybe one more person. They could have given Amanda Waller a bit more of a role, and they could have. I want to know more about Brick Flag.
I mean, I feel like that was the point, though. Like they were really trying to push home the fact that, this was just on the fly. These people are so expendable. They're going in with this, they're crazy elite, but, they didn't pump nearly as much of a resource into them as they would have liked.
They couldn't be tied to the government.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not. That scene where they were just sitting there chilling and, trying to shout their roles. They're like, all right, so you go in, what did they say? You see Wonder Woman, bam. It's like, what do you do? And it's like, what are you talking about? Wonder Woman wasn't supposed to be there. And it's like, the plan has changed. What do you do now? And it's like, I don't know, grab a hostage. It's like, it's not going to work, you son of a bitch. It was crazy. I loved it.
Yeah. This was a great episode.
Oh, my God.
I think I found where I'm going to put it.
Where would you put it, Jordan?
So, I think there's another episode which did something
right up your
kind of fun and different from most of our other episodes.
Yeah?
And that's This Little Piggy, which had Wonder Woman kind of powerless and focused on the Wonder Woman-Batman relationship and brought some depth to the universe in an interesting way. So I don't think this was quite as good as This Little Piggy. So I'm going to put it in between that and Fearful Symmetry.
Fearful Symmetry.
I think it's a little bit better than Fearful Symmetry because it's doing something totally different. Where Fearful Symmetry was just kind of a cool character exploration of Supergirl and Green Arrow, Task Force X does a little bit more.
Right. I feel like I'm just going to put it above Doomsday Sanction. Like that seems pretty legit of a place to put.
Doomsday Sanction. Oh, okay, yeah. Where did I put that? Doomsday Sanction.
I like that.
Oh, that's the one I put as one. The one we just had. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was really? Okay. When I started this, 3 episodes ago, my guesses for this, I was thinking Task Force X was going to be my favorite episode, and Doomsday Sanction was going to be number 2. This has not turned... Task Force X wasn't nearly as good as I thought it was going to be. And Doomsday Sanction was way better. But...
I don't know. I'm really... I am 100% waiting on that last hurrah that we're going to do when we just go over every single episode. I'm going back to each one, saving up my little points, my notes. I'm taking notes. I swear I am. I'm not just going to give it, a half-assed appeal like I always do. God forbid. But, it's, I really want to give each one of these a second chance to judge. Because I feel like once you start to look at them all in all, in a total kind of thing, each one of them has comparative value, to the next episode. What does this do for the series as a whole, besides what does this do as an episode in itself?
Yeah.
You get what I'm throwing down there? You picking up what I'm throwing down?
And it's also making me really wish that this was a show they had just in syndication and it was just on television and I'd sometimes watch it. Sometimes shows get reruns. I don't know why this show doesn't get reruns.
I have no idea. I cannot answer that.
If I had a television station and I needed 1 in the morning programming, I would totally put this in.
One in the morning programming.
I think, or like 6:30 programming, something like that.
You put it on Adult Swim or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this show deals with mature enough themes that it'd be really interesting. And, by the way, Elliot, you told me this a couple days ago. Apparently, Netflix is considering bringing back Young Justice.
Yeah.
For a third season.
They're considering.
So, everybody should write them and tell them that this needs to happen.
This is a good idea.
Oh my god, the ending to Justice League Unlimited, Young Justice is so unsatisfying. It's amazing, but I can't believe they left that cliffhanger.
Yeah. Let's not talk about it, just in case, one of our viewers did not see. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers on it. But the ending is so incredibly good they can't end it on that.
Oh, Jesus, it was fantastic.
And the cliffhanger they ended on to try and get a season 3 was so good. I wish it weren't for that stupid Teen Titans Go. And Batman, whatchamacallit.
I'm not going to get into this conversation, because that's going to last.
I'm not saying Teen Titans Go is such a bad show, but it's not nearly as good as Young Justice.
Right.
And they could have at least just had both of them on. Like, they didn't need to cancel Young Justice for Teen Titans Go. It's annoying.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in their minds. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. I'm just gonna sit over here and enjoy myself, because I like both shows.
All right.
I think both shows are splendid.
You like Teen Titans Go, and you generally have pretty good taste, so I'm sure there's some good parts to it. But I do actually tend to like light superheroes.
You generally have good taste. You're not like a schmuck, so
yeah. But I don't know.
It's all right. No, we're not getting into that.
We're not getting into Teen Titans Go.
There we go. I find it funny. There's some things. It's never going to amount up to anything even close to the original Teen Titans or Young Justice or anything like that. But it's a comical little bit. It's fun.
I think if they hadn't canceled Young Justice for it, I would have liked it.
I appreciate it. There we go.
But I was like, wow, they're canceling Young Justice for this. This show is going to be amazing.
It's going to be awesome.
And then they had that, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh my god, yeah.
So, that's a shame.
But
it is what it is.
What's going on here?
Alright. So, any closing words, Elliot?
Enjoy your time on this bright blue earth. Make sure to cherish your loved ones and despise anyone who isn't your loved one. So have a good day.
Sounds like a plan.
Enjoy the rest of that.
Yes. Stay beautiful, folks. Stay beautiful.